Okay. Probably should have had this queued up already, but all right. Well, welcome everyone to the July meeting. We meet the first Tuesday of the month at 7 o'clock. It is virtual for now, and hopefully we can move to getting an in-person meeting pretty soon. I try to cover current market topics, and I'm open to suggestions. I've had some suggestions before, and for me, sometimes pre-planning a topic is not a good idea because I want to be current, and if I pick the topic a month ahead of time, when I get to the first Tuesday, that topic may not be relevant. So I try to pick something that's relevant. Again, as I mentioned before, I welcome everyone from beginners to the experienced people. And trust me that your questions and your comments are more than welcome. They are encouraged. Currently, we've got about 338 people in the meetup group and growing. So I'm your host. I'm Coach Mike. I'm the founder and CEO of Walk On Consultants. And what I do is I teach people how to get started investing. I want people to get off the sidelines, get in the game of investing, and start investing. It doesn't take a lot of money. Whatever you have, you can get started with whatever amount you have. Whatever amount you have that you're comfortable with is okay to start with. You don't have to have 1,000 or 10,000 or any preset dollar amount. You can get started where you are. So encourage everyone, if you've never met me before, book a free consultation, see if I'm the right guy for you, and I'll see if you're the right person for me. But I love to work with individuals in addition to doing my group meetings. I always start off by saying that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. This is one of my favorite quotes from Ben Franklin. And who knew the guy who invented electricity actually had a good investment thesis. So this month's topic is the halftime report. And being a coach or former coach, right? Everybody knows at halftime is when you make the adjustments. And I'm a basketball coach, but in my opinion, football, they have the best halftime adjustments. I swear, they look at film, they talk about what's working, what's not working, what are we going to change, what are we going to do different, and you see a totally different team in the third and the fourth quarter. And so investing is no different. You should be watching your portfolio every quarter, and at halftime, make an adjustment. Should I hold on to this stock because it's down 30%? Maybe I should buy more, okay? Maybe I should just sell it. Oh, this stock went down 45%. Maybe I should buy it now. So this is what this month's meeting is all about. It's the halftime report. We're halfway through the year. We're going to check some stocks, check the market, and make some decisions or make some adjustments. So first half, the first 6 months, as you can see, it's all red on the screen. This is the worst start since 1970. Now, some of you guys probably weren't even born. I'm going to be honest and say I was born. I was there. It was the worst start since 1970. So it's been a long time since we've had this bad of a start to the first 6 months. And I think that's one of the things that makes people nervous. Some people just got started investing maybe a few years ago. They've never seen anything like this. They're like, what's going on? I thought the market only goes up or it only goes down a little bit. And they've never seen anything like this. This is sort of historic. It's the worst start for the first 6 months of the year since 1970. So it's a good wake-up call. It's a good introduction to if you're just getting started investing. Now, as you can see, there's not only 1 month out of the first 6 months where the market's up, March. And it was a fake out. It was what we call a bear market rally. So we're in a bear market, but even in bear markets, you get that little pop-up and you think, oh, it's over. And then no, not really. So last month we talked about, should I buy the dip? Should I sell in May and go away? And so as you can see, buying the dip was not a good strategy. It worked for the last 3 years, buying the dip, but buying the dip won't work in a bear market. You should be selling into strength. And if any of these phrases confuse you, maybe take some notes and ask me when it's over or ask me right now. But in the bear market, you should sell into strength. You should not be buying the dip because you can see what happened in March. It faked you out. April, May, and June, down, down, down. So I think I copied this slide from last month because nothing's really changed. The market was up for 2019, 20, and 21. So the party can't last forever, right? So the party's ending. The Fed is raising rates. If you're in the market to buy a house, you probably notice that mortgage rates are going up. If you're trying to buy a car, the interest rates on the car loans are going up. The war in Ukraine is no longer a new thing, but it's causing all sorts of havoc in the supply chain. Gas prices, I don't have to remind anyone how high gas prices are going, but that affects so many other things because trucks have to deliver stuff, right? The price of diesel goes up, well, then the price of your food that's getting delivered is going to go up. So the economy's slowing down, gas prices are higher, and it's just not the same as it was for the last 3 years. So I have some winners and some losers in the overall market. No surprise at energy, right? Oil and gas companies, ExxonMobil, Occidental Petroleum, Peabody Energy. I mean, tremendous gains for those stocks for the first 6 months of the year. And of course, the losers, Netflix. Remember how Netflix was so popular during the pandemic because that's all you could do is stay home and watch Netflix. And now people are back to work. And so Netflix is, sort of peaked. And even though Tesla, I believe, is the future of electric cars, if you don't have money or you can't afford, things, you're going to cut back on what we call discretionary. And you guys know that Facebook has now changed their name to Meta. There's some ETFs I want to talk about that are related. The technology sector ETF. I think Lewis mentioned SPY, the S&P 500. There's some other ETFs, the technology sector, consumer discretionary, consumer staples, and of course, energy. But look at the disparity between the gains and the losses. I mean, it's night and day. So let's be transparent. My stocks that I actually own, and I have other stocks as well, but I pick my best and my worst winners and losers. And again, you can see the disparity from January until June where my stocks were. What you should also notice is that they are across the board, and I am diverse. AbbVie on the winner side is a pharmaceutical company. LMT is Lockheed Martin, a defense contractor. I bought that stock because they make some of the missiles that we're sending to Ukraine to help them fight the war. Mosaic is a fertilizer company, again, because of the war in Ukraine. The crops, we don't have a lot of access to crops, so we're going to need more efficient crops. And LTC is a real estate investment trust that specializes in assisted living. So on the loser side, you got Coinbase, which is an exchange if you want to buy cryptocurrency. I didn't want to try to figure out which cryptocurrency to buy, so I bought the exchange where everybody comes to do their transactions, and it did not pay off, okay? Curaleaf is a marijuana company. SOX is another ETF. It's all semiconductor stocks, so it's technology, but it focuses only on semiconductor stocks. And of course, Nike, everybody knows about Nike, no explanation needed there. But as you can see, I'm down. Even on some really good companies, I'm still down. So what's in the ETF? This is a picture of the top 10 holdings for the energy ETFs. This is the XLE, as you can see, ExxonMobil, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, and so on and so on. All energy companies, oil and gas energy companies. There we go. Technology. Here's the technology ETF. You can see Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA. I don't know how Visa and PayPal and MasterCard are in the technology ETF, but okay. Adobe, Intel, Salesforce, okay. Mostly technology stocks are in the top 10. Consumer discretionary. These are things that you will cut back on when we are in a recession. And we may not be in one yet, but we clearly headed in that direction. So you will cut back on your Amazon spending and some of the other purchases like McDonald's and Nike, Starbucks. You're not going to buy that $5 Frappuccino anymore if we're in a recession. So these are things people will cut back on. And of course, probably the safest group here, consumer staples. We're talking toothpaste, deodorant, mouthwash, toilet paper, the things that you can't just give up because we're in a recession. Cigarettes are on the list as well. Snack foods, Costco, Walmart, you're going to buy these things. Bottled water, you're not going to cut back on some of those things. So you'll always hear me stress this about being diverse. This is the S&P 500. If you buy the SPY, you'll get exposure to all of these, or you can pick one of those sectors and buy one of those sectors. And, I talk to a lot of people, and it seems like they don't have the diversity that I think they should have. They are heavily weighted in all technology, heavily weighted in all Bitcoin, heavily weighted in all EV vehicles. But you are doing yourself a disservice if you don't diversify your portfolio. So please make sure that you don't have to have one from each category, but this is not poker where you want to have 5 of the same, okay? You want to have a diversified portfolio. So I'm going to end it right there. What you should be doing with your portfolio, even if it's 1 or just 2 stocks, is to stay abreast of what's going on in your industry. You can set alerts because technology, it can notify you when something changes, but you got to read those quarterly reports or at least listen to the monthly reports, because every company that's public has to report their earnings, okay? And if necessary, you're going to rebalance your portfolio. So we'll talk more about that in detail, but I just want to wrap it up and say that learning is a journey. It is not a destination. I've been in the business over 30 years and I'm still learning new stuff. You're never going to learn everything. So make sure that you take investing as a journey and not a destination. Don't think you know it all, and keep on learning. I'm glad you're here tonight. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, if you want to book an appointment, I'm more than welcome to give you a free 15 minutes. And I think Tam can tell you, it never lasts just 15 minutes. We probably talk for an hour because there's so much to talk about when you first meet somebody. So with that, I will open the floor to everyone. And let me just hit stop share. And let's talk about some stocks.